Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really zeroing in on something critical in cyber-physical system security. Your IoT, OT, ICS stuff. It's about vulnerability mitigation versus actual remediation. Now, these terms, they sound familiar from IT.
Yeah, very familiar. But the application is, well, it's quite different for CPS.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Simple fixes, IT style. They often just don't work for CPS. In fact, the main thing we want to unpack today is how just mitigating CPS vulnerabilities like you might in IT, it's not just not enough. It can be, well, dangerous.
That's right.
So our mission really is to clarify why, for these absolutely essential systems, you haven't actually fixed the problems, this remediation. Because, failures in healthcare, manufacturing, transportation, the stakes are just incredibly high.
And it's fascinating, isn't it, how often IT security playbooks, where mitigation is kind of king, get applied to CPS.
Yeah, like what? Give us an IT example.
Okay, so think about containing malware on a network, right? You might segment the network, use a kill switch, that sort of thing. Buys you time in IT.
Right, contains the problem.
But try applying those same ideas, those containment strategies, to critical infrastructure run by CPS. Imagine just halting internet traffic to an industrial control system as your quick fix.
Oof. Yeah, you might stop the cyber threat, sure, but you could also stop a vital production line. Completely cold.
Exactly. Suddenly your fix is, well, arguably worse than the original problem.
It's like slamming on the brakes at 70 miles per hour to avoid a fender bender, maybe. You avoid one issue, but could cause a huge pileup instead.
Precisely. And what makes mitigation often such a weak approach for dedicated CPS is, well, it's their basic design.
How so?
We're talking custom firmware, specialized operating systems,
Yeah.
and a really deep reliance on open source software components.
The open source angle.
Yeah, and that reliance means they often inherit vulnerabilities. You look at the National Vulnerability Database, the NDD, there's a huge backlog of known issues relevant to IoT, OT, ICS.
So just containing the threat, it doesn't address those underlying known holes.
Not at all. You're often just, blocking one symptom, not curing the disease. It's fundamentally flawed for these systems.
Which, it brings up the resource question, doesn't it? You always hear about balancing, finding, and fixing versus just containing things quickly. But for CPS, maybe the bigger risk is the opposite, like a false sense of security, because we think IT-style containment is actually doing the job.
That is spot on. That false sense of security is incredibly dangerous. Assuming IT techniques are sufficient when they fundamentally aren't designed for the operational realities of CPS.
So let's define it then. What is remediation in the CPS world?
Right. It's the necessary, comprehensive work. It means actually fixing those underlying vulnerabilities properly across all these specialized systems.
Shrinking the attack surface for good.
Exactly. Shrinking the attack surface. Mitigation might be a temporary pause, maybe part of a larger plan, but it shouldn't be the end goal. Remediation is what ensures both security and keeps critical operations running safely. And remember, patching these systems isn't always like clicking update on your laptop. It can be complex.
So, okay, if these systems are complex, maybe proprietary, spread out, how do organizations even tackle remediation at scale? It sounds like a massive headache.
It can be. And that's where automation really becomes critical. You need automated asset discovery, knowing what you even have.
Can't fix what you don't know exists.
Precisely. And strong cyber hygiene practices, also often automated or semi-automated. These give you the visibility, the efficiency, basically the tools you need to manage these complex environments and actually do timely remediation.
Okay, so wrapping this up then, the crucial takeaway here is pretty stark, isn't it?
I think so.
For cyber-physical systems, really prioritizing thorough, swift, vulnerability remediation. It's not just like the security nice to have. It's absolutely essential. Essential for keeping critical functions online and preventing potentially, well, catastrophic failures.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Just consider the systems all around us that rely on CPS. Medical devices keeping people stable in hospitals, the traffic lights you rely on, the energy grids.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere. So how does really grasping this difference between just containing a problem temporarily and actually fixing it, how does that change how you view their security? It's not just some technical footnote, is it? It's about the fundamental reliability and safety of the infrastructure, underpinning, well, pretty much everything we do.